This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of C2C Rankem 2026 edition, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B, returning halfway across the world, my co-host, Prime Ooze, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
Doing good, excited for 2026. Didn't start it off all that well in Naples, but had to cut a vacation short by a day because I got the flu and then my beautiful wife got the flu right after that, so we kind of killed a vacation. But we're both over it and we're back ready to go.
Yep, and this week will be our first for 2026. So we're going to recap some stuff that happened in the sports world, entertainment world a little bit. But first off, Tim, 2025 in the books. What are some of your personal recap for what you want to remember 2025 by?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It was definitely a different year. My wife lost her dad in May. That was kind of a kick in the throat. Other than that, it just seemed like it was pretty much a relaxing kind of year. Get the news on my birthday that I'm going to be a grandfather, and next week Thursday, or next week Friday, she's going to be induced, so I'm going to be a grandfather starting off 2026. Other than that, it's just been 2025 was just really, really relaxing year.
Yeah. No, for us, for me, it was busy. Me and Jackson, and the wife, but me and Jackson mainly went to a lot of different wrestling events, got to sit front row at big promotion, TNA, even though, or not TNA, but NXT, even though it was a house show. We sat on the ring side, on the ramp for TNA, for Raw. Got some nice autographs, got to meet some legends, Arn Anderson, Eric Bischoff, Lex Luger, who still is probably the sweetest signature I got for a person that's dealing with what he's dealing with at his age. That looks so clean. But just overall, just the memories that me and Jackson have made, over the year, but 2026, we plan to do it all again and, drive my wife crazy with the money we spend. I know he's looking forward to possibly going to SummerSlam. I told him probably not, or, looking at the ticket prices from past shows, but I told him we would definitely get down there for the fan experience and, get to a show if they do have the week shows here. So definitely 2026 is going to be some of the same action. So, but with that being said, we're going to do a little recap of big stories in the NFL, MLB, WWE. That's mine and Tim's, premier sports. Then we're going to cover the ones we lost in entertainment, sports, and WWE. And then, of course, we got our blind five at the end. So, Tim, let's kick it off. So there might not be so much sniping, but we'll see. But The NFL. Let's kick it off with the top stories in the NFL. I don't know if we'll get much, but like I said, Snipey's probably going to be coming. Kind of like Twins victories. They're going to come few and far between.
I'm going to be honest. I think we hit 2. I honestly think 2 is a sweet spot number, especially on something like this.
Yeah, it could be.
I'll be honest. I told you backstage I was doubled up on 2 different spots in one category, and then I look in this NFL category and I'm going, wait, I'm doubled up again here too. So yeah.
All right. Well, kick it off with your number 5.
My number 5. Our football season started on draft night with between Bacon and I, and then we had our special guests come in and we got lucky. You were, matter of fact, you were one of our special guests about the same time that the Vikings draft pick was coming up. And but my number 5 is a double up on the draft night. The big news was that Cam Ward got drafted number 1. That's my 5A. But the big news that came out of the draft was the fact is that Shedeur Sanders, who was penciled in at being in a top 5 draft pick, ended up just dropping out of the top 3, top 4 rounds, gets taken in the 4th round by the Cleveland Browns, even after they drafted Dylan Gabriel.
The 4th or 5th? I thought it was 5th round.
4th, I think he went the 4th.
Yeah.
But just to see him just fall and just drop, and I think it was the biggest news that came out of the draft. So my number 5 is Cam Ward being drafted number 1 by the Tennessee Titans, and then Shedeur Sanders falling to the Browns in the 4th round.
And honestly, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he might have been overrated, but to drop that far, I mean, I was to the point that I'm like, hell, Minnesota might as well take him if he keeps falling. I mean, what's there to lose? So that's a big one. I'm going to go mid-season, and we brought him back hopefully to retire as a Viking. Some things happened behind the scenes. They cut Adam Thielen, and he ends up signing with Pittsburgh after he stated that he wanted to get a chance for the ring. And I think that kind of just was a big slap in the face to everybody here in Minnesota. And then his comment that, after he signed, he found his love for football again. So, but yeah. All right. You're number 4.
My number 4, I think it kind of took everybody for a shock, especially after when Daniel Jones went down in the early when he did with the injury that he had. But the big news, and they really made the hell out of a big news out of this, was my number 4 is the return of Phillip Rivers.
Where is it? Yeah, I think you brought it up that they're talking to Phillip Rivers, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding. I mean, and I don't think he would have got into the Hall of Fame, but now he resets his status. But he was up for the Hall of Fame this year, and then to come out of retirement, yeah, I got Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement at number 4 too. So you're number 3.
My number 3, we love. I know you and I personally love the off season, everything that leads up to week 1 of the NFL, especially along the lines of like training camp and preseason games. But this caught us completely off guard. Nobody expected this to happen, especially one of our colleagues on Primetime Blitz. I don't think he was expecting to lose his best pass rusher that they've had in years. My number 3 is Micah Parsons being traded to the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that was, and then they go out and double up and they get Diggs. I mean,
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year. My number 3, I'm just going to put a plane out there. The Bears season this year. I mean, nobody expected them to come out of last place, and I know it's been a lot of lucky fourth quarter drives or fourth quarter comebacks, but I don't think I would, even if somebody came up to me today, go back in time and put money on the Bears. I still don't think I'd put money on the Bears. So yeah, I got 3 as the Bears. So you're number 2.
My number 2, for as long as we can remember, this is the first year in 10 years, 10 years that the Kansas City Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. I thought it was hilarious that the same day that Patrick Mahomes gets injured with a torn with the injury that he did, and then on the same day they fall out of contention for a playoff spot.
Nope.
The exact same day.
Yeah. My number 2, I know it's more of what they did in 2024, but it is in 2025. But Eagles just winning the Super Bowl. I mean, good for them. I think you got to put the champs on there. So you're number 1.
My number 1, well, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. Since the Super Bowl was played in 2025, it's a new news story for 2025. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Well, you got our 2. I mean, that's good. My number 1 is just the way Sam Darnold is leading this rebuilt Seattle team to a 14-2 record, first round bye. I want him to win, but I don't want him to win because I don't want to hear everybody talk about how, Mikey should have kept him because, look, he's a Super Bowl quarterback and blah, blah, blah. And, but good for Sam Darnold and Seattle. I got some Seattle fans. So hopefully, they have a good season. But yeah, nobody expected Seattle to do what they're doing. So, all right, let's move on to the MLB side of things. Be interesting to see where we go here. I'm going to stick to 2 because I think overall, I think we got a couple good stories that came out of MLB. What do you think?
Yeah, I like 2. 3's a outside possibility, but I like 2. I think 2's a good shot.
Yeah. All right. So mine, and I think this concept is good, especially for the All-Star game. The first ever All-Star game swing off. I thought that brought some excitement. Another home run derby type thing at the end of the game if it ends in a tie. So definitely a cool concept. You're number 5.
Yeah, I kind of went a little homer here. I went with my Milwaukee Brewers winning the NL Central, especially with a team that wasn't supposed to be as good as it was. And then you bring in a Jackson Churio and a Jason Wisniewski and a Ms. I can't even pronounce that guy's name. That guy, our own little personal Miz over there in Milwaukee. But yeah, I wasn't expecting when the NL Central. I think I had him 4th best in the division, and to turn around and do what they did, it was kind of shocking. And have the best and have the best record in the majors while doing it too.
Yeah, and also losing, your voice. And Bob Uecker and Bud Selig, co-owner / I don't even know if he was owning the team anymore.
No, Mark Antonaggio is the owner.
Okay, gotcha. My number 4, you went homer. I'm going homer. Just the mid-season moves that the Twins made. I mean, they traded half their team away and just fell. You talk about Shadur Sanders falling. I mean, the Twins just fell after that, and it was just ridiculous to watch those games. You're number 4.
My number 4, it's not much of a shock, but when you look at what these guys did, and I think one of them shouldn't have won the MVP, but I think that's kind of the way it goes. My number 4 is Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge winning the MVP.
Yeah, everybody's going to be talking about Aaron Judge winning that last year. My number 3, we had a great postseason, and to top it off, I think it was Game 3. The the World Series that went 18 innings. I mean, that game just did not seem to want to end. Both teams had chances to close it out early, just couldn't. But yeah, number 3 is the World Series that went 18. Your number 3.
Yeah, mine kind of piggybacks off of yours, and mine's the Dodgers going back to back in the World Series. Yeah, that's big. It doesn't happen as much, and then as much as I hate the Dodgers, you got to give them respect going back to back, running it back like they did.
Yep. Now, I will give you partial credit for your number 4. Just Shohei Ohtani is just dominant. I mean, that kid stays healthy. I mean, he's going to be the odds-on MVP every year unless somebody does something different. And everybody talks about how dominant he was pitching. Yeah, he had that one good game where he struck out 10 in 6 innings, had 3 home runs. I mean, yeah, but he stays healthy. He's going to be just MVP favorite every year.
What was it? I saw something last year, something like there was a stat. He's the first 50-50 guy where he's the first guy to go 50-50 back-to-back where he had 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts.
Yeah, and then, of course, the year he had 50 stolen bases. So, it's definitely, something that we have not seen and probably won't see. I mean, maybe more people will start doing the dual thing, but I don't think they'll be as dominant. So, my number 1.
No, we still got my number 2.
Yeah, your number 2. Yep.
my number 2. It's kind of a little bit more piggybacking off the 50-50 of Shohei Ohtani, but it was impressive to see that the first time in I don't know, I think ever that 7 players hit 30-30. It was this, and then there was a set of teammates. I think they were Houston Astros that went 30-30. It completely, and the first time a Seattle Mariner had done it, I think it was Jose Hernandez. I want to say was the Seattle Mariner, but to go 30-30 and it's starting to become a prevalent thing. I think with the new rule about the stolen base rule, where you can only throw over twice, I think really helps solidifying that 30-30, making that 30-30 a little easier.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's the stolen bases come back. I think that was a big factor in MLB that had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that definitely. I mean, just think of people like Ricky Henderson, Vince Coleman. You only have to throw over there twice. That third time they're going to go. I mean, what do? Pitch out, and they probably still beat it. So my number 1. As much as this guy should have won the MVP, and I think a lot of people have him as their MVP. Kyle Raleigh, that 60 home run season, what he did in the All-Star game. He's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in Seattle. So,
yep.
You're number 1.
It's not C2C unless we're sniping. It's a phrase that pays. I got my number 1 is your number 1. When I saw the big dumper do what he did, it's shocking when you realize that, how many great switch hitters we've had in the league and in Major League history, and he's the first person to hit 60 home runs. Look at the power bats that we've had at the catcher spot, and yet he's the first person to hit 60 home runs. I see a lot of good things coming out of him in the future.
Yeah. I definitely think he puts up, a little bit more than half these numbers that he did this year. He'll be MVP. They'll give him the MVP because they owe it to him, type thing.
Right.
So, which is sad. I mean, he should have got it this year. So, all right, let's move to WWE wrestling. Definitely. They always have a lot of stuff, storylines and stuff like that. So I'm going to stick with 2 because there's so much that goes on.
I see 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So kick it off with number 5.
Number 5, there was so many rumors that had started coming out, especially after Punk had come back in 2024, especially in Chicago. It was like, is his wife going to follow? And well, we got our answer last year. My number 5 is the return of AJ Lee.
Okay. My number 5, another kick in the low blow here from Minnesota. the news that Saudi Arabia is going to host WrestleMania coming up,
Yeah.
which I'm really intrigued on how they're going to promote that and who's going to be there and how it's going to be. I mean, that's going to be something. So yeah, number 5, Saudi Arabia hosting WrestleMania. So you're number 4.
My number 4, you know, I never thought I'd see Flair's number go down. I just never thought it was going to be something that was going to ever happen. And then it happened this year, or last year, which I thought was even weirder. Do I think he should have been number 17? I don't really know. But number 4 is John Cena winning 17th.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like, I mean, yeah, they can make anybody win this, but what does it mean? I mean, Flair, I think is still the better champion of the two, but, you go by numbers, Cena is. So my number 4 is probably the second greatest cash in of all time, and he owns the first one. Seth Rollins cashing in after faking another injury, and just going out there and just demolishing CM Punk. I mean, it was just brutal. So my number 4 is Seth Rollins cash in. Your number 3.
My number 3, I think when it comes to returns from last year, this one was the shocker of them all because nobody thought you'd be seeing him in the ring at least last year. But with the retirement tour, you kind of might have thought it was coming. But it blew everybody's mind when it happened because I don't think there was even any rumors that this guy was even going to show up. My number 3 is the return of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, that was a shocker. Like you said, everybody. I mean, there were sites out there. Oh, could Lesnar return? Could Lesnar return? And when he did, I mean, yeah, he just made John Cena his B. So, I mean, yeah. My number 3, kind of piggyback off your 2, just overall the John Cena retirement tour, which I think ended poorly, but the way they hyped it up and stuff and all that. So yeah, John Cena's retirement. You're number 2.
My number 2, you probably have it at number 1 because I know who your Mount Rushmore is of wrestlers.
Oh.
But this was a kick in the face. It even after everything, it felt like a stab in the heart, especially the way that weekend had been going already. My number 2 is Hulk Hogan dying.
Yeah, I didn't put him on this list, but he is definitely on there. My number 2 is your number 4, 5. The return of AJ Lee. Like you said, it was talked about so much when CM Punk returned, and it was the worst kept secret in wrestling. I mean, once they started doing the storyline, it's like, okay, AJ Lee's coming back.
Yeah, when you started doing a storyline with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, you knew that you couldn't even keep the writing off the wall at that point.
Yeah. There was no other option than to bring AJ Lee back. So I just hope they build off of that.
Right.
Hopefully. So you're number 1.
So my C2C, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1, I believe you have at number 3, the John Cena retirement. Yeah, they made it such a huge story, and for some people, it wasn't a fulfilled story, and I get it. I get it. I watched that match, and to me, it's like I get why it did what it did. It just took over a life of its own throughout the whole year, and I don't think we ever got really truly paid off on the whole Rock Cena thing. I think that was the whole slap in the face because they could have really done more with that. But yeah, that basically took the headlines of anything going on in the WWE at the time.
Like you said, he never got paid off on the whole Rock final boss Cena turning. So my number one, you talk about turns, and I think this kind of shocked as soon as it happened, or as I mean, we thought it would probably happen, but Braun Breaker turned on Seth Rollins and pretty much, put him on the shelf, which he was injured. So I think that's was why it happened. But that was definitely a big shocker there. All right, so let's get on to the other side. Definitely pay our respects, and we do it all the time. I mean, Tim, every time somebody passes away, either you're texting me or I'm texting you on, hey, did you hear this? I mean, so let's start with the entertainment side of things. This could be, actors, actresses, musicians, and all that. So, looking at the list, I can see us going 3.
I can see us going 3. I can see us going 4. Yeah, I'll say 3 just to be safe.
All right. My number 5. No, this is you starting. No, this is me starting.
That's you. No, you're good.
My number 5 is an actress. I think, she was a very lovely actress. Diane Keaton.
Okay. I got to remember that's at 5.
Your number 5.
My number 5. It's. I think the first time I ever saw this actor was in Top Gun. Played opposite of Tom Cruise. I thought he played such a great villain, and then you turn around and he's done funny things like Top Secret, Real Science, and just some funny stuff. My personal favorite movie of his that I absolutely love is The Saint, and then you put him in as Batman. Still kind of questioning it, but I don't really argue it. But my number 5 is Val Kilmer.
My number 4, I think, was the big shocker. Grew up watching him, on the Cosby Show, and being if I remember right too, he was on vacation with his family. But my number 4 is Malcolm Jamal Warner. Your number 4.
My number 4, if my brother's watching, he would kill me if he wasn't on this list. This goes with your Malcolm Jamal Warner and Hulk Hogan, because this goes right into that same 3-day week that kind of was like a stab in the face. Then we stab you in the head, and then we stab you in the heart. It just felt like it was all over the place. A guy who's in the WWE Hall of Fame, mind you. But I love his music. I loved him when he was with Black Sabbath. I loved his solo stuff. My number 4 is Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay. Where are we at? Number 3. Not C2C unless we're sniping. The phrase that pays. Yeah, my number 3 is your number 5, Val Kilmer. That was, seeing him in the new version of Top Gun, you knew the writing was on the wall. I think he spoke very, very little the few times that he was on there. But yeah, Val Kilmer. Your number 3.
My number 3. This one kind of came out of left field. This one really came out of left field, even though he was in his 90s. It just, the way it happened was kind of, we weren't expecting it. I don't think you were the first person to tell me. I think my wife was the first person to tell me about it, which usually if she finds out about it, first of all, it's magical that she actually knows who the person is. And she definitely, if she knows who it is and I know who it is, and he's that big of a star, I'm a big superhero film buff, and I love superhero film movies. As much as I like him in Lex Luthor as Lex Luthor and Superman, I absolutely loved him in a small little basketball movie called Hoosiers. I think this guy gets every credit he deserves. He got his flowers before he passed away. To see him in Unforgiven opposite Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I think the better Western that he's in is in The Quick and the Dead with with Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Sharon Stone. Enemy of the State, right opposite Will Smith, Jack Black.
I forgot he was in that one. Yeah,
Jack Black and Seth Green. But to see that he's actually can be funny and do a movie called The Birdcage with Robin Williams and have him dress up as a woman to get out of a gay bar, I think was brilliant. My number 3 is Gene Hackman.
Well, let's keep it rolling with the phrase that pays. My number 2, yeah, definitely Gene Hackman. I forgot he was in Enemy of the State, but yeah, my favorite movie of his is Hoosiers, just the story behind it all, and his team stepping up and saying that or the best basketball player that's not playing basketball said he's coming to join the team, and the fans erupt, or the parent teachers, they all erupted. He's like, but I'm playing if he's coaching. So they had to make a quick decision there. So, all right, your number 2.
My number 2, well, let's go ahead and keep the train rolling as well. It's not 2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is your number 5, Diane Keaton.
All right. My number 1 for the 4th time in a row will go. And yeah, I mean, Ozzy Osbourne that just hit all around. I mean, that's not my genre of music, but just knowing his iconic path and what he meant to the music industry. Yeah, that one hit big time. Your number 1.
My number 1, matter of fact, it was weird because when he passed away the night before, I had watched a Tom Cruise, Andrew Garfield, Meryl Streep movie with him in it called Lions for Lambs. You lost Butch years ago, and then you lose Sundance Kid this year. It was just kind of ripped my heart out a little bit. My number 1 is Robert Redford.
That was a good one too. All right, well, we got 4. I mean, like you said, it was a possibility. So let's go into the sports world now. We're going to separate. What's that?
I'm going to tell you, I'm doubled up in 2 spots.
I got to double up 2 in 1. We are putting WWE as their own. So let's go. You go with how many are we going to get? Well, I know on my list, I mean, I know we're going to get 2 for sure. I mean, we kind of talked about 1 in backstage.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3.
I like 3. I think 3 is a possibility. I think 4 is a possibility, but I like 3.
Yeah. I can see 5 being a possibility too. It's going to
because I have 7.
Well, maybe, but all right. Kick it off with number 5.
I'm curious if you have a homer pick.
Yes.
Well, my number 5 is kind of a homer pick for you, because I've got enough homer picks on this part to kill a cow, I guess. When I heard about it, I thought of the Minnesota Vikings, and I remember everything that I've ever heard about this player being the guy who had played the most downs as a defensive player, and the most consecutive games started as a defensive player. But hell of a player, absolutely hell of a player to be on the Purple People Eaters, I think, which is an amazing defensive tackle. My number 5 is probably your little homer pick. My number 5 is Jim Marshall.
Oh yeah, he'll be on there. My number 5, I had to add one because you reminded me of it. But we lost 2 commissioners this year, or last year. And one, wanted to contract the Twins when he was the owner of the Brewers. But I got Paul Tagliabue and Bud Seeley. Your number 4.
My number 4, like I said, I got homer picks all over this. This one was kind of a. I'm telling you, we got a hell of an owner after he passed away. I tell you, she's got some acumen there. She knows how to run the team. I'd like to see what her first preseason or postseason is going to look like. He's had his own little demons, but he got clear and he got healthy. But it was a kick in the face because I don't think anybody was expecting it, especially us in the Colts fandom. My number 4 is Jim Irsay.
Yeah. My number 4, possibly one of my Mount Rushmores of second basemen. I don't recall him playing anywhere else, and if he did for a short time. But face of the Cubs for most of the 80s and 90s was Ryan Sandberg.
Did you know he was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies?
I did. Maybe that's why I thought he was playing for somebody else. But yeah, Phillies. Yeah. Yep. Your number 3.
My number 3 is well, I'm giving you half a snipe on number 3. My 3B is Bud Selig. You kind of alluded to him before when we were talking about Major League Baseball news stories. It's tough when, for the longest time, and this is another guy who's connected to the WWE, especially in the WrestleMania era, especially the big iconic sign of Andre the Giant choking him during an interview backstage. To go from playing for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Braves, and you never played a game for the Brewers, but you become the voice of the Brewers. You became the voice of, heck, he was the voice of the World Series in the early 80s, him alongside Bob Costas and Tim McCarver. And just to see what he did, and to go, like I said, Mr. Belvedere and doing the Miller Lite commercials. And he was the face and the mascot of the Milwaukee Brewers for so many years. And it was just hard to watch. And I watched the documentary, the 84 Brewers, and he's all over it. And to hear stories about him while he was still alive and about what happened to the 84 Brewers. And it just, you watch it with a tear in your eye, and then you realize that both the major guys in that movie are both gone. My 4A, like I said, my 4B is Bud Selig, but my 4A is Bob Uecker.
All right. Well, my number 3 is your number 5. Yeah, Jim Marshall. What can you say about that guy on the defensive side of the ball? Nobody's matched it per se. I mean, but yeah, your number 2.
My number 2, I'm going to give you another half a snipe with the Ryan Sandberg. He was my 2A, but to lose a guy just in the year that he gets drafted, he gets elected to the Hall of Fame, so he doesn't go to Cooper's. He gets to have a bust in Cooperstown, but he can't be there to give an acceptance speech. And a former Milwaukee Brewer at that point too. At a point, he's going in as a Pittsburgh Pirate, but we can argue that later. Like I said, my 2A is Ryan Sandberg. My 2B is Dave Parker.
Oh, I forgot about Parker. Yeah, that's a good one. My number 2. If you're in the boxing world, probably one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. Came out of retirement 50 billion times, I think. And if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan turning down the George Foreman girl, which brought his career back, one George Foreman. So well, your number 1.
Let's keep it rolling. My number 1 is your number 2. I have George Foreman.
Wow, I figured, well, we got 5 in a roundabout way because my number 1 is part of your number 3, just the voice of Bob Uecker. I watched him as an actor, but it's just funny that you know him as the voice of the Brewers and never once played for the Brewers, but, had a baseball career. Heard stories of comments that he's made and, at bats he's taken, but yeah.
The funny thing is, I'm wondering if Bud Selig gave the permission to film Major League at County Stadium as long as they use Bob Uecker in the booth.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah, did not even think about that. So that could have been, that probably was a deal breaker or a deal maker in that one. So all right, let's round it off with WWE/wrestling. Because there wasn't many WWE guys but there's ties to them. So with that being said, I'm going to go 3. You're going to go 4?
I think we can go 4.
We'll see what number 4 is.
We might get 5 if I played it right. We're not going to get 5. No. Okay, you're good. We'll get 4.
My number 5. I guess he was in WWE for a short time. I remember watching him in AWA. Colonel De Beers.
I saw that one.
All right, so 3 is probably the max.
3 is probably the max at this point.
All right, you're number 5.
My number 5. This is the only guy that I went that was WWE adjacent because he kind of worked with the WWE. My 1 and 5 kind of linked together, and I think it was you and I that had made the comment that our number 1 died, which was really weird. That the guy who wrote the walk down music died earlier in the year. I had to put him on because he's adjacent, WWE adjacent. Yep. My number 5 is Rick Derringer.
Yep, and then if you really want to hear weird things, so you got him that died that wrote Hogan's theme song. You have Hogan's super fan that also died that same week, and then you had Hogan.
Yep.
So, my number 4 is a homer pick. That's why I kind of made it wrestling related. The one of the voices of Mid All-Star Wrestling that I go to passed away shortly after their biggest show, I think sometime in November. Ring announcer Travis Sharp. So you're number 4.
My number 4. I met this guy in a very roundabout way, really roundabout way. He was doing a house show in Escanaba, and I was working at the bar, and their after party happened to be at the bar that I was working at, and we had an upstairs, and it was a VIP section. Guess who got to be the security for the VIP section where there was wrestlers? So I kind of got lucky to be there with the Rock and Roll Express, some others, Sandman, and my number 4. It's definitely weird, especially when people come in going, hey, you got 2 people outside doing something not so legal in a car across the street. I'm like, they're not in my bar. I don't care. But my number 4 is Sabu.
All right. My number 3, yes, people are going to say, well, he wasn't really with WWE when he was in the wrestling, but you're part of an iconic stable. You could have put him in sports. I had trouble finding, so I'm going to throw him in the WWE. One, Steve Mongo McMichael. Yes.
Well, WCW is owned by WWE.
Yeah, that is true. They are. Oh. All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, I'm going with a wrestler who, when you realize who he used to come down to the ring with, looked like a midget compared to the other guy, especially around the King of the Ring time. Mabel was a big MFer. Holy smokes. And the funny thing is he's King Mabel, but yet the guy he walks down with is also called Big. And you look at them, they look like they were the mini B version of King Mabel. My number 3 is Big Mo.
Yeah, I forgot about him. God dang it. Yeah. Well, my number 2 is your number 4. Sabu, and it's funny because if I remember right, Paul Heyman made a comment referencing Sabu right before he passed away or something in a promo or something. Or maybe it was right after he passed or something. So you're number 2.
Well, my number 2, well, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is at your number 3, Steve McMichael.
All right. Well, I think we got the same number 1, and if we don't, one of our lists is wrong. So, but what can you say? To me, the goat of wrestling. I don't care what they say about John Cena, but this guy put wrestling on the map, made you say your prayers, eat your vitamins, wanted to rip your shirt off every time you got hulked up. So, and one decent actor, I would say, in some movies. But yeah, and turned over WCW, made them a powerhouse with the NWO, but won Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, you were lucky enough to meet him, weren't you?
Yeah, Mall America was out there at 12 o'clock noon. His signing wasn't until 7. Stood in line that whole time.
Yeah, I get that because
I was not missing that one. So, but you're number 1.
You know what? It's not C2C unless we're sniping. I've seen the man. Throw a first pitch for a Tampa Bay Rays game. I can say I was in the building with Hulk Hogan. I never met the man. That's a day I'm gonna regret for the rest of my life. Seen him live. Never seen him wrestle live, but I've seen enough of him to know everything. But yeah, what can you say? The guy made a lot of people wrestling fans in the mid '80s. And got us into where we were in the 90s because a lot of our kids don't know wrestling unless it's Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
Yeah. And not saying John Cena's not up there. I mean, he's definitely the GOAT for this generation, but I can't hear arguments that he's over Hulk Hogan. You know, just like the Jordan, LeBron, stuff. It's tough. I mean, yeah, you can throw the 17 titles out there, but again, Hogan held it probably longer days than Cena did. So, but all right. So let's get into it. Let's get into our blind 5. One of our favorite categories. So you said you got an easy one. So let me hear it.
All right. Just before we came on, we got that news about John Harbaugh signing with the New York Giants.
Yep. 5 years, $1 million.
Yeah. And
or $100 million, I should say.
Right, $100 million. And I thought to myself yesterday when I was doing this list, I'm thinking, if Brandon ever got a chance to get rid of Kevin O'Connell, especially with the head coaches that were fired or let go or are no longer with their teams, who would he take to replace Kevin O'Connell?
Okay.
So I have a list of five coaches.
Good.
And I've been lucky enough to meet one of these head coaches when he was with the Jets. But I'm going to give you a shot to see if you can replace Kevin O'Connell with one of these 5 coaches and see if they can take you to the playoffs. I'm just going to take to the playoffs. If you get to the Super Bowl, that's all on you.
All right.
So the first coach that I've got is Mike McDaniel.
4.
All right. The next coach I've got is the two-time coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah. How did he get coach of the year and lead that team?
Twice.
Yeah. I'll go number 3 with Kevin. Because he's a former Viking guy, so.
Yeah. I'm going to go, forget it. We brought his name up. John Harbaugh.
Oh. With the knowledge that he has, I mean, yeah, if I had a coach of vacancy, I'm with everybody else. I'm throwing the check, the bank, and just telling him to fill it out. I'll sign it. I'm going number 1.
Okay. The coach that I was lucky enough to meet while he was with the Jets, Pete Carroll.
No, Pete Carroll, it's past his time. Pete Carroll's done.
All
He's
right.
number
So you
5.
got him at number 5.
Yep.
So your number 2 head coach is Mike Tomlin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like that. And honestly, if B Flow goes, I'm calling Tomlin if he wants the coordinator's job.
Right.
Yeah,
And the funny
bring
thing
him
is,
home.
I've got your 3 and 4 flipped. I've got McDaniel and Stefanski flipped.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. So got a list here of sport athletes that need to retire
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. We'll go with one Mr. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce.
Oh God, he needed to retire before he got engaged. I have a feeling you have a quarter. I think you have a quarterback on here that I think played his last game already. I'm gonna I got Travis at 3. I'd like to see him go, but I want to see him be humbled more.
All right. One Venus Williams.
Oh God, I thought she had retired.
No, not officially.
Not officially.
Nope, her sister did.
Yeah. No. I like her. She's still.
Oh, me too.
I have 5. I don't want to see her retire just yet.
All right, you brought him up, Mr. A-Rod.
Well, A-Rod said this was his last year.
Yeah,
but
he's not going to fill out the paperwork yet, though. He said 2. So.
Holy hell! I'm going to say 2 because I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope. So 2.
Tiger Woods.
I thought he was retired too.
Not officially.
Not officially. No, I like him. He's. I'm going to say he reminds me of Venus Williams. No, Tim, that'll get you canceled. No, 4 because I'm praying to God.
Well, and the thing is golfers never retire because they always have that senior tour and stuff like that. Right. But I would say he needs just to retire from the majors. I mean, he's not the old Tiger Woods. I mean, all right, you probably wait for this one, yeah. Mr. King of the Flops, LBJ.
Yeah, he needed to retire. He needed to retire before his kid got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping LeBron was on that list.
Because, of course. I could not leave him off of there.
You and I have the same hatred for the guy. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Yep. You and I both think that he's a great player, but sometimes you believe too much in your own smoke. And yeah,
for those that have grown up watching basketball, our age, I doubt that anybody could put LeBron over Jordan as
not our age. And here's the other thing is, and this is the other thing is, you don't crown yourself king. Everybody else crowns you king.
Yeah. And he was crowned king coming out of high school and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think he believed. I mean, like you said, plenty of talent. Definitely deserves all the accolades he's got.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just now he's kind of just turned into the I don't want to say joke, but just the laughing stock. I mean, of the NBA. I mean, I don't think the Lakers are going to win with them. They prove me wrong, but I think his time has gone past him. I don't know what he's holding on for. I mean, he got to play with his son. Which honestly, if they made a card of it, I would definitely love to own it because I think that's definitely a milestone.
I think there's a dual autograph of Bronny and Braun.
I think there is. I think there is. But I mean, the last father-son duel I know that got to play together was the Griffeys. So it's definitely an honor. So with that being said, Tim, final thoughts.
Yeah, I should have said this earlier. I wish a happy birthday to my nephew Roman. His birthday was on Monday. Happy birthday to my stepson Andre. His birthday was Tuesday. And like I said, I've got news coming next week. It's already an exciting 2026. It just gets better. I think you guys touched a little bit of it on. Did you guys touch about it on Primetime Blitz? I got about I'm going to the Olympics on the 7th of February. The potential of going to a possible WWE PLE in Italy. The rumor is in Torino, which isn't that bad. It's only an hour train ride to get there. The only problem is they like to charge through the nose. The WWE does. So this year's already looking pretty big, and we've got a lot more ahead of us in this year. It's only just January, so I'm looking forward.
Well, I hope this news is real, but it's coming from a Facebook page, Vikings National Daily. It is quoting that Brian Flores has sent shockwaves across the NFL world by turning down lucrative offers from both the Giants and the Ravens just to stay in Minnesota. I don't know. I hope it's true.
Yeah, you guys need him to come back.
That's definitely a missing piece there.
Let's see what I got. I got retired Clayton Kershaw to pitch for the Team USA in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not seeing anything. It could just be, and they had a quote from Flores that he likes to hear in Minnesota, so it could be possible true, but we'll see where it goes. But my final thoughts are, Tim, I hope you have fun. I mean, I know we'll talk about it. When you go to the hockey game, congrats to you becoming a grandfather here in the next few days. Shout out to my mom who had her birthday on the 12th. My sister Kayla yesterday. My cousin Austin had his on the 13th, I believe it was. Cousin Lindsay's coming up. January's filled with birthdays for me. So, but with that being said, 2026, I think it's going to be a good year for not just us on Rankem, but just overall the whole C2C family. Baseball season's coming up. Can't wait for spring training to start and get our baseball show going again. But with that being said, we'll see you all next week on Rankem. Have a good one.